Hello and welcome to this edition of Akron Buzz. My name is Aaron Coleman, and here on the program we like to talk a little bit about nonprofits in the area, and one of those is the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Summit, Medina, and Stark counties. And here to talk a little bit about the organization is Executive Director Kyle Putinski. Kyle, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And first of all, Kyle, let's get started by talking a little bit about the mission of the organization and what exactly Big Brothers and Big Sisters do in Summit, Medina, and Stark counties.
Well, thanks, Aaron. Our mission is to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. And our vision is that all youth achieve their full potential. Now, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we do that in a couple different ways. Traditionally, everyone knows Big Brothers and Big Sisters through our community-based mentoring program, where we take a youth ages 6 to 18 and adult ages 18 and over. Really no end limit on that. We have mentors in their 70s and 80s, and they're doing a great job. And we match them up in a mentoring relationship. And those relationships last. Our average match length for those relationships is about 3.5 years. It was 5.5 before COVID hit. And then that's just on average. Some bigs and littles, they meet all the way until their 60s and 80s. So that is our community-based side of things. And then our site-based side of things, we do site-based mentoring, and that's where we have high school students serve as bigs, and they mentor elementary and middle school students.
Fantastic. And how have you guys been able to navigate those relationships between the bigs and the littles due to COVID and everything? Obviously, you got to think a little bit outside of the box in terms of how people interact and everything. Have you guys been doing anything as far as Zoom meetings or FaceTime calls or anything as it relates to these meetings?
Yeah, so when the pandemic hit, with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we are a relationship-driven organization and an in-person relationship-driven organization.
Right.
We had to change everything around. So when COVID hit March last year, I actually wasn't at the helm yet. I didn't take over as the executive director here until July. But our previous executive director, we had to switch everything from in-person meeting to virtual. So we had to accommodate that. So we had a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of FaceTimes, a lot of interactions. Most recently, our bigs and littles went back to in-person meetings and outings as of March this year. So we've been doing that. So every time a big or little joins the organization, they do get a custom Big Brothers and Big Sisters face mask that they get to wear on their outings. And we do abide by the CDC guidelines with social distancing, mask wearing, and things of that nature. But with the pandemic, that created a unique opportunity for us to serve kids, but also to do fun activities with them. So we actually got a grant through the Akron Community Foundation Millennium Children's Fund to conduct, we call them Keep Kids Connected events. So we do an event every single month that's geared towards just keeping kids connected and engaged during this time. Last month, we actually partnered with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Cleveland, as well as Columbus, and the Cleveland Browns. So we had Ronnie Harrison, one of the Browns players, come in and talk to the kids virtually, and all the kids got a tour of the Hall of Fame and really got to sit down with a pro football someone in the NFL and just get to ask them questions.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. And I know that it's something that the kids certainly enjoyed, I'm sure. Talk to me a little bit about the volunteers that you have in the organization. How many volunteers do you currently have? And how can people sign up to be a Big Brother or Big Sister?
Currently, we have about 80 volunteers right now currently acting as Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Mm-hmm. We have about 110 bigs on our wait list, which has been great. COVID has actually has really sparked an interest in Big Brothers and Big Sisters throughout the community. So we're getting an influx of Big Brothers and Big Sisters in our And it hasn't been something that we haven't seen this influx since really the early 1990s.
Wow.
So we have an influx of bigs, but also we're continually getting an influx of little brothers and little sisters. And with everything going on in COVID, we're continually seeking, big brothers and big sisters, but also littles, because we know that the kids are going through it, the myriad of traumas that are happening, and they need that supportive adult in their lives. So if you do want to get involved to become a big brother or a big sister, you can go to our website, which is mentorwithme.org. And there's a tab at the top of the website that says Be a Big. And so you click that link and you fill out some information, and then our staff will be reaching out to you within 24 to 48 hours to set up next steps. And then the next steps really entail going through a comprehensive background check process and doing a lengthy application interview. And the reason behind that lengthy application and interview is because we really want to get to know you. We want to get to know your passions. We want to get to know what you like to do in your spare time, who's in your house, and things of that nature, so we can pair you with that lifelong little for you. And so we have a bunch of bigs and littles that are ready to be matched, and we're just going through those nuanced conversations about who's going to be the best fit for you. So the process usually takes right around, we can't get those turned around within a month, but just depends on how quick you want to get involved in the program.
What projects do you currently have in the works coming up here, Kyle?
Thanks for asking. We have a lot of great projects in the works. So one of the things I do want to say is we have an event called The Biggies, July 31st at the Highland Square Theater in Akron. So what we're doing is we're partnering with some other mentoring organizations throughout the area, as well as Amino Health. And what we're doing is we're having our mentors and mentees recreate their favorite movies. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw a red carpet style event for the bigs and littles, as well as give them trophies for the best comedy or best action, best drama, and really make it fun and engaging for those kids. Because COVID, kids are going through it. They are, they're kind of done with virtual events, and we really wanted, as we come out of this COVID cloud, we really wanted to do something special for the kids. So that is one thing that we're working on. And another thing that I'm really proud of is we are currently working to launch our Bigs in Blue program. Bigs in Blue is where we partner with law enforcement agencies for them to serve as bigs to the littles in the communities. And what national research has shown for this is that it really helps combat explicit bias to police officers, not only from the police officer's perspective, but also from the little's perspective. So when we hear things talking about like police officers or this or that, when you have a relationship with a law enforcement officer and someone says, all law enforcement officers are bad, and the kid responds like, hey, no, they're not. I have a big brother who's a police officer and he's great to me. And it just really helps bridge that police community divide. Mm-hmm. And research has shown that does help combat explicit bias. And what we're seeing is that that program affects the law enforcement officers just as much as the kids. So that's a program that we're really proud of here at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and we're just trying to get that off the ground. And another initiative that we're doing is we are partnering with other after-school program providers to offer mentoring services to them. So that's a brand new thing to us here at Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So we're having conversations with different after-school providers and seeing how can we, form a great relationship together. And you guys do your programming, we're going to do our programming, but we're going to bring that mentorship aspect to you so you don't have to focus on it. And that way the kid gets the holistic spectrum of having mentoring, but also having academic tutoring and other resources at their availability. So those are a couple of things that we're working on here locally. One other thing I do want to say is that we do have a big goal this year. So we want to double our agency. So when I took over the organization, we were about at 70 matches. We want to get to 140 matches by the end of this year, with the end goal of being at 500 matches by 2025. So it takes a community to make that happen. So we're working with our community partners, with everyone in the county level, to really make that big goal happen by 2025.
Well, certainly. Thank you very much, Kyle. We'll try to get that message out there for you, and programs like this are certainly a vehicle to help you do so. So thank you very much for joining us here this afternoon. We certainly appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
And for this and other great interviews, you can check out our website at akronbuzz.com, all social media, as well as our Roku channel. For Kyle Putinski, I'm Aaron Coleman saying, make it a great day. All right.